Hello, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are. Okay. Ooh. How's everyone doing? I shouldn't have put that on. Man, the lighting on this camera, it just sucks. Oops, I think I actually just made it more blurry. Thought I had a Now, for me, Monday morning, not Monday morning. What am I doing? 1 o'clock is early, is morning. Hey, Leon, how's it going? How did you find the courage to say what's true? I don't know. I've always been like that. I've always been like that. I've always had a hard time not saying what I think. It's actually very difficult for me to not say what I think or to not say what I believe to be true or right. Hey, Welsh, how's it going? Hey, Bader. Do you have a Discord server? I do. It's, wait, let me see if I can get the link. Does it let you put links in here? Where is it? How do you... How do you share your Discord? Okay, anyway, I don't exactly know right now how to share it, but I do have a Discord server, and it should be in my YouTube information. Like if you go to YouTube and you go to the information part, they should have it. Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Project Sun, for saying that. I always forget to say, please like the stream. I think it helps. Yes, thank you, Heil. It's HLE. It's in the community tab. If you go to the community tab, you can see the Discord. Sorry, I'm like barely awake. I have not had enough coffee today, guys. And as you know, this is kind of the setup here is just my camera on my computer, which is kind of crappy because I don't have like a, I don't have like a whole I don't have a podcast set up like Ethan Klein does, His fancy studio. Yes. People are saying hello. In the server. We need a new name for it. We need a cute name for it. Thank you, HLE, for pointing that out. Yeah, we need a cute name for the Discord server. Hey, Linda. How's it going? I do. Arab Pride, I do have a Discord server. I just was talking about it. It's in the community tab of YouTube, the link to it. Is your first name Blake or Blakeley? It's Blakeley. Blakeley. Like Blake and Lee together. Yes, actually, the shirt isn't exactly new. I got it a little while ago, but isn't it cute how it has the little Palestinian flag on it? And it's also on my cup. Same thing, same brand. Hey, Benetta. How's everyone doing? Nice Saturday. Just hanging out. I figured that I would do a Saturday morning coffee with you guys because I was off all week because it is Saturday, right? I figured I would do like a nice Saturday morning coffee with you guys because I was out all week because, you know, my sister was visiting. And so I haven't done it since, like, I didn't get to do a live all week. Oh, I like that. I know, isn't it pretty? Hello from the West Bank, Palestine. Hello. Hey, Johan. Hi, how's it going from Germany? Oh, cool. Hi. Did I have a nice birthday? I did. I really did. I had a great time on the stream with everybody. The stream that I did on my birthday, that was really fun. And then my sister came to visit me and we went out to dinner. It was really nice. Hello. You're already international. I don't know what that means, Faith Sultan. I don't know what that means. I mean, I unless you mean like there are a lot of people in the Israeli regime who hate me. I know that. It took decades of anti-Arab conditioning simultaneously as they victimized and aggregated or aggrandized, the chosen to manufacture consent. Yeah, that's unfortunately true. That's unfortunately true. I see you from France. Oh, that's so cool, Bonetta. Yeah, I was just talking about that. Okay, thanks, Linda. Thank you for reminding everybody to hit the like button. Linda's so good about always reminding people of that because I always forget. Thank you, Linda. Linda's one of our great members, one of the OG members here. Yes, and please, thank you, Johan. Please subscribe to the channel if you're already not. Yeah, so I just made a video, speaking of the Islamophobia, I just made a video that I posted on YouTube right before I came on here, about how Ethan Klein is Blakeley musical. Can you play any instruments? Yes, I can. I can play guitar, not that well, but I can. And yes, I'm a songwriter. So yeah, I made a video right before I came on here about Ethan Klein's like vicious Islamophobic attack on Hassan, comparing him to Osama bin Laden, like actually insane. You'd probably make a good newscaster. Oh my gosh, I thought I was reading. Never mind. I thought I said something else. Sorry. No. Okay, that was dark in my mind. I am a new G member. I will sign up. G member? Is that somewhere else? Trump is going to appoint some garbage officials. Oh, 100%. 100%. You know, the thing that annoys me about that, though, is that there are some people, like some liberals and stuff, that are like, oh my gosh, Trump's going to appoint like Zionist officials, you know, and that's really concerning. And I'm like, where were you? Where were you during Biden's administration when Biden had a bunch of lunatic Zionists in his cabinet? Antony Blinken, like so evil. So many people that he had in his cabinet were psychopaths, racist, Zionists. And yet, no one had anything to say about that. What, just because Antony Blinken speaks softly? Yeah, Victoria Nuland, Sullivan, Samantha Powers, all these people who are total like Islamophobic Zionists that Biden had in his cabinet. And it reminds me of that meme where, you know, the guy it's like the guy sleeping and it's like, I sleep, and then like something else happened. He's like, I'm mad. You know what I mean? It's like the eyes. I don't remember the meme. It's like the I sleep meme, but it's like when Biden was in office, no one cared about how awful his appointments were regarding the Israeli regime in Gaza. But now all of a sudden that Trump's in office, everyone's noticing suddenly that he's going to appoint, you know, lunatic Zionists. It's like, where have you been? Where have you been? And then they're like, oh, well, Trump's going to let them annex the occupied West Bank. You think Biden's been doing anything about it? They're literally annexing northern Gaza right now. Now, they have been annexing North Gaza. What has the Biden administration done about it? What have they said about it? Have they even spoken out about it? No. They haven't even condemned it. And they've been allowing the slow-moving coup of the annexation of the occupied West Bank ever since Biden got into office. And what has Biden done about it? Nothing. Just because they talk nice and go, oh, you know, we're really concerned, we're looking into it, doesn't mean anything when they haven't done anything to stop it. But liberals suddenly are concerned. They're suddenly concerned. It's ridiculous. Hello from Morocco. Hello. Yeah, this is the Uni Party. This is the Uni Party, especially when it comes to the Israeli regime. They are all on the same side. Oh, thank you for becoming a member, Project Son. Hey, why isn't it showing? I see that you became a new member, but it's not showing here. Oh, that's annoying. Trump is owned by Miriam Adelson. True. That is very true. All I'm saying, hey, I'm not defending Trump. Trump is garbage. What I'm saying is this fake outrage that liberals have finally found over the Israeli regime is ridiculous when you consider that when it comes to the Israeli regime, they are all on the same side. Just because the Democrats pretend to care, they do the like heart emoji before they drop a bomb, doesn't mean anything when the policy has been the same. Like, for instance, people were freaking out yesterday being like, oh, Trump said on day one when he gets into office, he's going to take any limits off weapon shipments to the Israeli regime. Isn't that awful? Don't you pro-Palestinian people care? It's like, where have you been? Where have you been? When there was a limit on weapon shipments to the Israeli regime during the Biden administration, you know what Biden did? He bypassed Congress, which is supposed to be illegal. He bypassed Congress to give them the shipments. Like, why are we pretending that this didn't happen? Also, and another thing, which I will get to in a second. Sorry, this went by really, really fast. I don't want to miss any of the member comments. Thank you so much, Saeed. Saeed just gifted 50 memberships. So if you are not already a member, you can now become a member for free because Saeed generously just donated 50 memberships. Thank you, Saeed. That's so kind of you. And I just lost my train of thought. I was about to make a good point. And thank you, Project Sun, for becoming a member. What was I just going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Okay. And, that's a really cute baby, Saeed. I know. I know. His baby is really cute. I lost my train of thought, but it's just annoying me because it's all that's what I was going to say. Also, I don't want to hear liberals pretending to care suddenly about the Palestinians when they have been disgusting since Kamala Harris lost. Okay? I'm talking about rank and file liberals all over Twitter, all over TikTok, all over Instagram, literally being like, oh, you guys like thought that you were going to not vote for Kamala Harris and look at what's happening to Gaza now. Like literal sociopaths, actual sociopaths. There are people, I saw a video yesterday on TikTok and I wanted to like stitch it. But the person who made it's like one of these cry bullies that cries over everything and, you know, whatever, like made her account private or whatever. Like, I can't remember if she actually, but like, so a friend of mine made a video stitching it and they got it taken down. But this girl was actually making fun of this white woman, this privileged white girl was like making fun of the leader of the uncommitted movement for asking Biden to do something to rein Netanyahu in while he still has time in his administration. This girl was happy. I don't know why I'm saying girl. She was like 30. This woman was literally laughing and happy about the pain that the people in the uncommitted movement are going through because their family members are being slaughtered in Gaza. She was like, well, should have voted for Kamala Harris then. Shouldn't have voted third party, which, by the way, she's an idiot because the people in the uncommitted movement were Kamala Harris voters. They were Democrats. They were just trying to attempt to use some political leverage to get her to move. But they made pretty clear pretty early they were all going to vote for her. But this monster was like, maybe you should have voted for Kamala Harris then. You're embarrassing. Like, she was calling him embarrassing for advocating for the slaughter of his people to stop and to ask Biden to do something in the lame duck session, which he absolutely could. He absolutely could, because there's no restraint on Biden now. He's not running for re-election. Kamala Harris is not running for re-election. And there are 3 months still until Biden leaves office. And the Supreme Court ruled that a president can essentially do whatever they want, consequence-free. So if Biden wanted to, he could do whatever he wanted to help people. He could write executive orders to cancel student debt. He could do so much. He could appoint people to the Supreme Court. He could say, I'm abolishing the Supreme Court. He could do whatever the fuck he wanted. He's a king now, right? He could say, we're stopping weapon shipments to the Israeli regime right now. Right now, we're stopping weapon shipments. No, he didn't do any of that. So he doesn't care. The Democrats don't care. The Democrats are bought and paid for by AIPAC and by the Israeli regime, just like the Republicans. So this smug, evil woman was on here laughing at a Palestinian for advocating for the lives of their family members in Biden's last days. Genuinely evil. So that's why, and I've seen many like it. Her video is just one example of so many videos I've seen like it. And tweets and everything else. So what I don't want to hear, okay, is any liberal or Democrat pretending to suddenly give a shit about Gaza and Palestine, okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear any of you pretending to give a shit about Gaza and Palestine when you're laughing and cheering the harm that is coming their way because you're mad that your genocide girl boss didn't win. Please spare me. Exactly, Sassy. The only reason why the Democrats won Michigan in 2020 was because of the Arab and Muslim vote. And they knew that. For them to not do anything to try to get the vote of the Arabs and Muslims in Michigan, that was a choice. That was a choice. They knew, they were fully aware that Arabs and Muslims could cost them that state by not voting for them. And you know what they did? They sent Bill Clinton and Richie Torres to campaign there. Is that a joke? Why would you have Richie Torres, who literally is like, honestly, he should be in the Knesset. Why is he in Congress? All he does is shill for the Israeli regime. And they brought him and Bill Clinton to go talk about how it's actually Judea and Samaria. Lunatic shit. And you know what I saw on Twitter last night? Rania Khalek said when she was, or Jamal Bowman said when he was talking to Rania Khalek on her show, that he actually offered to go to Michigan to campaign for Kamala Harris. And they said no in favor of bringing Richie Torres. Are you kidding me? You know what that sounds like to me? That sounds like trying to lose. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Deep Valley. Who are we talking about? Tulsi Gabbard? No, we're talking about Democrats in general and how it was a choice for them to throw away Michigan, basically. They knew, okay? They knew that Kamala Harris was going to lose the Arab and Muslim vote in Michigan if she didn't do something about Gaza. And instead of sending Jamal Bowman, who offered to go, who was pro-Palestine and lost his seat for standing up to AIPAC, they sent Bill fucking Clinton and Richie fucking Torres. Like, be fucking for real. Oh, hey, Theater. Both parties are traitors. Sorry, traitors. Yeah, have any of you guys, of course, absolutely, Bernie Sanders should have won, but he didn't. And the Democratic Party will never allow for progressive to win because that is fundamentally not what their party is. I am getting tired of people acting like that it's just kind of incompetence and like they don't know, you know? The what they did to Bernie Sanders was calculated. It was on purpose. It wasn't because they didn't know. It wasn't because they're incompetent. It wasn't because, they weren't aware of what the grassroots wanted. No, they knew. It was a purposeful crush campaign against Bernie Sanders, a purposeful crush campaign against Bernie Sanders because they fundamentally oppose what he is about. That's why. They fundamentally oppose what Bernie Sanders is about. They fundamentally oppose anything progressive, anything left of center. They don't believe in it. They don't want it. That's why they crushed him in 2016. That's why they crushed him in 2020. Off topic, but are you a socialist? No, I don't think so. I don't know what I am, if I'm being honest. I don't really feel like I fall into any ideology like totally neatly. I mean, I definitely like a lot of things that socialists have to say, but I don't know if I would consider myself one. I don't know. I don't know what I am. Thank you so much for the super chat, Daniel. I appreciate that. The United States is also a one-party state, exactly. But with typical American extravagance, they have two of them. Wow, that's a really funny quote. True. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, at this point, Bernie is a sheep herder. Yeah, that's true. But, we can have criticisms of Bernie all day, and I do. I do criticize Bernie Sanders, but let's not, not be able to look at two things at once, Like we can criticize Bernie Sanders and his sheep herding and also acknowledge that he was a way better candidate than any of the other Democrats and would have moved us in the right direction, and they fucking crushed him. They crushed him. And the reason why they crushed him in his movement is because they don't believe in it. People keep arguing, oh, the Democrats just don't know. They need to be more for the working class. Like, it's just a messaging problem. Like, the Democrats need to speak more to the working class. We need to have better messaging. It's not about messaging, folks. It's not about the Democrats not having better messaging. It's about the fact that they don't believe it. They don't believe it. The Democrats aren't a progressive party. The Democrats are not a progressive party. The Democrats do not believe in fighting for the working class. They don't. The Democrats do not believe in fighting for the working class. They are not a working class party. That's why they crush this. It's really as simple as this, okay? They crush Bernie Sanders because they don't believe in what he believes in, period. They crushed Bernie Sanders not because they didn't think he could win, but because they don't believe in what he believes in, period. And they had all the help from their hacks in the media, which is why I can't fucking stand when all the media hacks come out and go, what happened? What happened? What happened? You happened. The Democratic Party, along with their apparatchiks in the media, did this. Has anybody ever seen the movie, the documentary Bernie Blackout, about how the media participated in crushing Bernie Sanders in 2020? Michael Moore made a documentary about it called, I think, like 11/9. And then there was a documentary called Bernie Blackout about the media's role in manufacturing consent against Bernie Sanders in the 2020 election. Right. Thank you, Project Sun, for the super chat. We look similar, long lost siblings. What do you look like? Send me a picture. Put a picture on the Discord. Put a picture on the Discord. Are we? They knew they were going to lose and they didn't care. Exactly. Exactly. Because honestly, I really am starting to believe that, because honestly, if you cared, why would you send Bill Clinton and Richie Torres to Michigan? Seriously? Is this a joke? And then on top of that, you have no self-reflection, okay? There's no self-reflection. You know how I know how they purposely lost and they want to lose and they want to keep losing? I mean, I know a lot of reasons. I know a lot of ways. But you know, one of the ways I know, number one, they don't care if they lose. And I said this in my video. I made like a really long video about it. But one of the ways that you know that they don't care that they lose is because of the consultant class, the grifting consultants that make millions and millions of dollars off of these elections, even when they lose. Like, these consultants make, and they're like advisors and shit, the ad companies and shit, they make millions and millions of dollars whether or not the candidate wins or loses. So they don't care. They don't care if the Democrats lose. They're still going to make the money. Also, haven't you guys noticed that electioning in America has just become a new industry, like a new capitalist industry? Because elections never end here now. And this has really happened since money in politics became totally legal. Since 2010, the Citizens United decision, since money in politics became like absolutely totally legal with no constraints on it, election season is now year round. It is now year round, okay? That they just election. And it's because it's become a business. It's become its own industry, like a business industry of just making money. That's why they had the nerve to text people the next day and ask for money. Seriously, right after Kamala Harris lost, right after she lost, the next day, the Democrats were texting and asking for money. Seriously? Seriously. You're really out here with the goddamn minerals asking any of us for money after you just got your ass handed to you. No. No one should give Democrats money anymore. No one. Don't stop donating to them. Seriously. But just think about how insane it is that in our country, electioneering has now become a full-time, year-round, multi-billion-dollar business. Like everything in America, it becomes another opportunity for capitalists to commodify it. Like everything else in this country. Everything in this country is commodified. Everything in this country is just another reason for capitalists to make money. To turn it into a business. And now they're going, yeah, maybe Bernie was right. Yeah, and they don't mean it either. They're not going to change anything. You know how I know they're not going to change anything? Is that they literally are talking about having Rahm Emanuel head the DNC. Are you fucking serious? Are you like, I cannot tell you what a cringe POS perfect example of everything rotten about the Democratic Party is personified in Rahm Emanuel. You are not a sorry. You are not a serious party if you are talking about Rahm Emanuel heading the DNC. Rahm Emanuel is one of the biggest corrupt pieces of shit in Democratic politics. Rahm Emanuel, professional loser, the liar that covered up the murder of a black teenager in Chicago when he was mayor. That scumbag is everything the Democrats pretend not to be. Everything. In fact, most people won't remember this, but when Biden first got elected, there was a huge uproar because people were talking about making Rahm Emanuel Biden's chief of staff. And people rightfully freaked out. Like progressives in the party rightfully freaked out that Rahm Emanuel would be chief of staff. He is such a corrupt piece of shit. Like, it's not even. So that tells me right there, the fact that Rahm Emanuel was even floated to be the head of the DNC tells me that they have learned nothing. they will learn nothing, and that fundamentally he is what they represent. They don't represent progressives. They don't represent even people left of center. They certainly don't represent the left. They are so incredibly corrupt and so incredibly uninterested in representing the working class or any part of the base of that party. And they reveal themselves to be exactly who we've been saying they are. And they reveal themselves to have absolutely no interest in self-reflection or course correction when they do shit like not like wanting to nominate or even floating Rahm Emanuel to head the DNC. Be fucking for real. Ollie said, no Viet Cong ever called me a N-word, as if to say the enemy is not those people, you are the enemy. You meaning your own leaders. True. Thank you for the super chat, Mark Puglies. I appreciate it. Even now, Democrats, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're literally like, oh yeah, you wrote Chase. They're literally asking for money. It's so embarrassing. Yep, that's democracy though. Democracy was never good. I don't know about that. I think democracy is better than a lot of other systems, but we don't really live in a democracy though. Like, we don't. We don't live in a democracy when the Electoral College decides who wins our elections. We don't live in a democracy. In fact, I shouldn't even say really. We don't live in a democracy. Democracy means one person, one vote. We don't have that. It's whoever has the most money wins the elections. Billionaires can buy our elections. Because of endless money in politics and the Supreme Court literally saying, yeah, that's fine. Money is speech. Corporations are people. That's not a democracy. Allowing moneyed interests to have more of a voice than the people, that's not a democracy. No, we don't live in a democracy. If we did, you wouldn't be allowed to have endless money in politics. Citizens United would not be a thing. And billionaires wouldn't be able to buy elections, and we wouldn't have the Electoral College. And if we lived in a democracy, they wouldn't make it so hard for people to run for office. Like now, because of how corrupt our system is, you have to be rich to even run for office. Like the way they make it cost millions and millions and millions of dollars to run for office, that's not democracy. AIPAC and the Israeli regime being able to come in and spend $25 million to oust Jamal Bowman, that's not democracy. What's my favorite type of coffee? Let's see. What is my favorite type? What do you mean? Do you mean like iced coffee versus hot coffee? Or do you mean what type of coffee? Like Arabic coffee or Colombian coffee, which I love both. I love Italian roast, which I don't know why they call it Italian roast, because I recently learned that Italian roast like the beans are not grown in Italy. Whoa, this is weird how this like sun is acting. Apparently like the beans aren't actually grown in Italy, but they call it Italian roast, which kind of confused me, but I love Italian roast coffee. I don't know what they do, but it's good. French roast coffee is good too. I would say I like dark roast. I don't really like light roast or like blonde espresso. I love like dark roast coffee and like dark, signature espresso. I think that it has a stronger taste. I just like. Yeah, AOC. Well, the thing is that AOC is like full of shit. Like, you know what I mean? She wants to have her cake and eat it too. She went on what's her name? Joy Reid's show the other night, and was like talking about how, you know, Democrats and Republicans, you know, we got to learn from this, but also Republicans use like dark money and misinformation, whatever, having absolutely no guts to come out and say what is true about the Democrats, which is that they're incredibly corrupt too. That's the problem. When AOC was elected, the whole point was to get more people like her elected to stand up against the corporate corrupt elements of the Democratic Party, and they didn't do any of that. All she did, all she did was basically get absorbed into the party. They don't challenge the party. The Democrats are very top down, where like they don't stand up to power. They do exactly what leadership tells them to do. Yeah, to me, we live in a corporatocracy. We live in an oligarchy. We live in a plutocracy. Okay? Like, we live in a country where monopolistic fucking corporations just like, you know, we talk about how we live in a free market with competition, but no, we don't. Because we have a bunch of monopolistic companies that like get away with just crushing all their competition. Like, this is not a free market. It's not a democracy. It's none of them things, okay? The Zio lobby controls the US. True. Show me the lie. Where's the lie? Yeah, and it's not a democracy when like California has, what is it? 40 million people? California has 40 million people, but they get 2 senators. And Wyoming has like 3 people and a goat, and they get 2 senators. And North Dakota and South Dakota, which really should be the same state, they get 2 senators each. This is a joke. And then you have gerrymandering, which should be illegal, which is a practice where politicians draw the maps and basically get to pick their voters rather than the other way around. And then you have people like the people in the Senate not wanting to allow DC to become a state. You call that you want to call that democracy? How is that democracy? How? When people in DC don't even have fair representation. Don't be a goatist. I'm not insulting goats. I'm just saying there's not a lot of people there. Hold on, you guys. Sorry, I forgot. I need to take my crazy meds. So 1 second. I forgot. RFK talking about taking away meds, sending all of our nation's precious crazy people. He's not going to do any of that. No, he's not going to do any of that. You know why I'm not concerned about RFK? A lot of people are freaking out that that Trump wants to appoint RFK to HHS. The reason why I'm not freaking out about that is because I don't think that he's going to be able to do any of that, because even the things that he would want to do to like rein in the, big pharma or the big agriculture, because it's too corrupt. Like, it's too corrupt. Like, they're not going to do any of that. Education is the only way to fight AIPAC. That is true. That is true. Wait. RFK is a way to distract from the robbery. Exactly. Exactly. They're not going to do, you guys are not going to do any of that. Hi, Patricia. Good morning, Blakeley. How do you follow the Midas Touch? Oh, I don't think I do follow them. Why? They're like a liberal, like a kind of blue MAGA, right? Yeah, I think this is part of it too, because there have been um a lot of money put into this, and they put a lot of propaganda in, like, out. And what you don't really see in the States is like an Arab pack. Like, we haven't really seen in the past Muslim Americans, Arab Americans, we haven't really seen them exercise their political power. And they should. Thank you for the super sticker, Patricia. I appreciate that. Your hair pisses me off. Why? Bro, imagine like caring so much about something like my hair. Yeah. I'm here for the hair, not gonna lie. Thank you, Com. Thank you. Thank you. I love my nails too. Hey Blakely, what's your opinion on countries like North Korea, that we should leave them alone? That's my opinion. I think that we should leave them alone. I think we should stop meddling in other countries' affairs. Thank you, Jaya. Oh, guys, I was having like the worst anxiety last night because most of you probably have not ever heard of lipoprotein A, but I have really high lipoprotein A, so I have to take like a cholesterol med for it. And that's for my regular cholesterol. They don't even have they don't even have a medication for high lipoprotein A. And like, they don't make a medication for having high lipoprotein A, okay? So they just have you take a cholesterol medication for your regular cholesterol. And I have really high lipoprotein A, which is like a genetic cholesterol. And I also have PVCs, which are like premature ventricular contractions. I'm sure you guys probably haven't heard of any of this and like at all. But yeah. I hate when it happens. It makes me anxious. I don't like it when I have the little contractions. It's very like upsetting. I have PVC statues. What does that even mean? Myocardial. North Korea is the non-Western colonized Korea. They're actually sovereign people. Yeah, I think that we should just leave them alone. Although I've heard South Korea is awesome to like visit. People say that it's really awesome and that they have like great spas and skincare. They're the top of the skincare game. What is your position on Armenia? Azerbaijan is selling oil to Israel for weapons to massacre Armenians. That's evil. That's like super evil. Like I'm against ethnic cleansing, like full stop. I don't know enough about North Korea. North Korea is like in a lot of ways a black box. I don't know enough about it. All I know is that we shouldn't be messing and meddling with them. Like we're always like trying to like start shit with them. And we should stop doing that and leave them alone. North Korea is one of the most misunderstood places on earth. South Korea is a Western colony. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to do more research into that. I'm really not educated enough on Korea in general, whether that be South Korea or North Korea, to like confidently say anything about it. Lol, controversial take. I'm against ethnic cleansing. Yeah. And I'm against ethno states. And yeah, that really shouldn't be controversial. Listen to Blowback Season on North Korea. Do you guys remember when the like conspiracy theory went around here for a little while where the mainstream media was claiming that Kim Jong-un was dead? Do you guys remember that? That was a couple years ago. I totally forgot about it, but it just popped in my mind now that we're talking about it. Yeah, that was crazy. Like, they were just saying it. They had no evidence of it. Never trust the mainstream media. Yeah, that's for sure. Absolutely not. Did you guys see how Jen Psaki, which she was Biden's press flack, was going around on podcasts and telling people that we needed to have more laws against misinformation? Like, more censorship is what she wants. She's saying we need to have more censorship because people listen to podcasts and people find news in alternative places. People listen to Joe Rogan, they listen to YouTubers, and they go on TikTok and they go on Twitter. And, Jen Psaki's very upset about that. She's all, we really need to stop, we need to stop allowing all this misinformation. Actually, I love that. I love that the lesson that Jen Psaki learned from losing the election was not, hey, maybe we should self-reflect, right? It wasn't, maybe we should self-reflect on what we're doing. It was, why don't we just censor people more? Why don't we just censor people more? Thank you so much for the super chat, Pete. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. Monumental book, Sheldon Wollin's Democracy Inc. explained that we live in an inverted totalitarian state where corporations and oligarchs are our rulers. Oh, that sounds really interesting. Thank you, Pete, for the, not just the super chat, but the recommendation. I'll look into that. That sounds really good. Can't have people thinking for themselves. Exactly. Which I love that Jen Psaki's like, we need to clamp down on misinformation when so much of the misinformation comes from them. So much of the lies and the misinformation comes from mainstream media, comes from corporate media. We need to clamp down on misinformation. That's you, boo. That's you, boo. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about any of that. They don't. That's why they're all being totally silent on the fact that they're about to pass that. Do you guys remember a few months ago I told you guys about that insane bill that is a total attack on free speech called the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, where they adopt an insane definition of anti-Semitism to basically completely attack and uproot the First Amendment? It passed the House. Chuck Schumer just said he's going to take it up in the Senate. They're probably going to attach it to the defense bill like they do every year, because in our insanely corrupt country, our so-called democracy, they don't even pass bills individually and debate them anymore. They just create these like omnibus bills where they put a ton of shit into a sandwich and then pass all of it. And they're going to put it in there. Total unprecedented attack on the First Amendment. And I haven't heard anyone talking about it. Silence. Crickets. Yeah, all it is a bill to protect the Israeli regime and basically tell people that they can't criticize them. Like they're like going to criminalize criticizing it. I don't know how many people are in chat right now that are watching this that are American, but if you are American, you should be outraged about this. You should be calling your Congress, your senators, and telling them to vote against it, even if you don't think it's going to work. I know our senators are corrupt. I know they're bought by AIPAC, but it's good to get it on the record. It's good to get it on the record and intimidate them at the very least. And you should be calling your senators and telling them to vote against the bill. And you should be harassing other creators who aren't talking about it. Not literally harassing, but like calling other creators out who aren't talking about it on the right and the left. Because where's Candace Owens? I thought she cared a lot about free speech. Where's the intellectual dark web? The people like Rave Dubin and Eric Weinstein and whatever. Where are they? Where's Sam Harris? Where's Tucker Carlson? All of them care so much about free speech, but none of them have said anything about this attack on free speech. You guys should be calling them out too. Bleh, even if you're not American. Okay, so if you are American, you should be calling these like influencers and creators and podcasters out for not speaking out against it. But you also, if you're even if you're not American, if you are American, you should be doing that plus calling your senator. This may be true, Joey. It is true. But how do you think that they got that power? You know what I mean? They got it by organizing a lobby, spending a lot of money on that lobby and that propaganda, and using their lobby and their money to intimidate lawmakers. Lawmakers are scared of AIPAC. That's what I'm saying. People need to fight back against that. If you never fight back against it, then they have no resistance. Why do they even need to be scared? They don't need to be scared. They don't even need to try. They don't even need to spend the money they need to, because they know that a lot of people are going to take that attitude of being like, well, there's nothing we can do about it, so I guess just let AIPAC control everything. Like, we should be fighting back against it the same way Democrats for years fought back against the NRA. And that actually worked. It is now totally toxic and unacceptable for a Democrat to take money from the NRA. You know how that happened? Years of organizing by activists to make it incredibly toxic for Democrats to take money from them. And now no Democrat does, because they know that it'll cost them politically. That's what people have to do. You don't just like give up and cede all the power in the ground to them. The point is, the Arabs and the Muslims need to organize their own lobby here and spend money and do their own propaganda and make it incredibly toxic to take AIPAC money. That's what needs to happen. AIPAC didn't come out of nowhere. They've been doing this for decades. They have built an apparatus. My thing is that I see stuff like the Anti-Semitism Bill as an accelerated factor. What do you mean? Like, do you think it's going to help us? It's someone related to Israel, every aspect of the government. Yeah, for real. For real, though. We are in an endgame society. That's true. I mean, everybody who pays attention knows that. The United States is in a empire collapse. They are. We are in an empire collapse. Just a lot of people don't know it yet. The thing about that, though, that's frustrating is that, like, the people that caused all, like, the horrible harm and crime and around the world and have done all these horrible things to cause so much suffering are not going to be affected negatively by this at all. Like, you think as America collapses and a lot of people get hurt and a lot of people become impoverished, that any of the billionaires or the corporations are going to suffer at all? No. No, they don't care about the United States. They'll go wherever the money is. That's why you see them building bunkers all over the world. That's why you see them fully invested in China. They don't care. It's just about the money. That's why I love when people be like, they need to be patriotic. These people don't care about America. They don't. It's fuck America for them too. They care about where the money is. Citizens United is at the root of this. It's true. It's true. And the depressing thing is no one cares and no one is going to take it on. When really that is so much of what is going on is connected to Citizens United. And the problem is that really frustrates me in this country is that people never care about something until it's too late and it's already passed. So many people didn't even pay attention to Citizens United at the time that it happened. So many people didn't even talk about it. And we are feeling so much of the effects of Citizens United now that are so damaging that were not talked about when it happened or people trying to stop it at the time. Like, this is what I'm saying about the Anti-Semitism Bill, so-called Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. No one is going to care or do anything about it or speak out about it until it's way too late, until the bill is already passed and until the effects of it start kicking in. And then Americans are going to be like, wow, this is really bad, when it's too late. It's just like the Patriot Act. Now everyone's like, wow, the Patriot Act was a horrible idea. No one said anything at the time. It's always like Americans always finally catch on when it's too late. Monterey did win the election, though. Huh? Monterey. Resources are real. Money is not. Money is a tool for coercion. We need a moneyless resource. Yeah. That's cool that you're organizing to build it. I think that that's why people on the left need to really start like actually organizing for things and helping each other, do mutual aid and like actually build up apparatuses, because that is really lacking. Like that's really, really lacking. The right is so good at that and the left is not. Tulsi Gabbard is an Islamophobe. Next. Yeah, but people don't even realize that. Like, that's the depressing part, is that like Trump actually contributed a lot to inflation, the inflation that we see now, and the economy being bad with his tax cuts for the rich. And yet people don't realize that. Like, they think it was all Biden's administration, even though Trump had a lot to do with that. And when Trump gets in office, he's going to cut more taxes for the rich. And the tax cuts for the rich he passed in 2017, they're going to make it permanent. They're going to make it permanent, and they're going to pass more tax cuts for the rich. But like, this is like, because Americans are so woefully uneducated that they don't understand that not everything resets every time we get a new president. So Trump put all these things in motion that hurt the economy that took effect when Biden became president. And then they're like, oh, it's Biden's fault. And that's not like defending Biden. It's not like Biden didn't do a bunch of shitty things too. But like, these are some fundamentally basic things that people just don't get. So they think that Trump's going to be good for the economy. He's not. Just because you do like a sugar high where you like increase production of something and take out more debt or cut interest rates doesn't mean you're actually helping the economy. Because that's what Trump did. Trump gave the illusion of helping the economy because he did things like taking out debt and cutting interest rates. Think about it this way. Think about it this way, guys, what Trump did. Why people think that Trump was good for the economy. Trump did what would look like if you took out a credit card, like an $100,000 limit credit card, and you went and you bought a car and you got a bunch of new clothes and you got a new dog and you got some good plastic surgery and you're like, this is awesome. This is great. Not realizing that like it was just a little sugar high because you're going to have to pay that credit card debt back. And then Biden got into office and that credit card payment came due and the interest rate on that credit card is really high. And then the person with the credit card and the high interest rate is like, wow, Biden really sucks. This interest rate is really high. When like it was the Trump administration that took out that debt and caused that high rate in the first place. Does anyone know what I mean? Is this making sense? No, and the other reason why I keep seeing people always talking about revolution, I don't think that there would be a revolution in the United States. And I'll tell you why. Because Americans are too lazy. Like Americans are too consumerist. I just don't see it happening. Like, I don't see Americans actually Americans can't even stand up and support the Palestinian resistance. They don't care. Like, they're so, and the Palestinians are the ones suffering under a genocide. The Palestinians are the ones really suffering. And so we're supposed to believe that Americans, with how insanely selfish we are and how consumerist we are and how shallow we are, that we're going to like fight back against the powers that be when so many Americans just want to be a part of that. They just want to be a part of the capitalist class. The first step in revolution is having the working class and the majority of people understand that the rich and the corporations and the oligarchy are their enemy. Americans don't see it that way. Most Americans don't look at like the oligarchy and the capitalist class that control our country as the enemy. They look at them as people to be admired and aspire to be them. You're not going to have a revolution with that kind of attitude, bruh. Well, yes, this is also true. And I don't mean this to say like everything is black and white, because this is also true too. Americans are very intellectually lazy and heavily propagandized, but we think that like we're free thinkers. Like, America thinks everybody else is propagandized and we're the ones who have all the information or are free thinkers when we're heavily propagandized. Also, we are intellectually lazy. People just see something and are like, oh, yeah. But also, it is also true that Americans are also very hardworking because we live in a society where you have to be. Like, Americans work all the time, like 7 days a week. Many Americans work 2 jobs. Like, the working class in America are very hardworking. And that's the other part you made a point of. That's good. That's true. Americans are way too individualistic. We've been conditioned that way. Americans have been conditioned to be hardworking, but individualistic widgets so that we don't really question the powerful and we don't question the rich. And we're told to love them and aspire to be them so that we keep working for them, giving them our labor for the lowest possible amount and making them rich and not really questioning it, just going home and watching Netflix. There's an international capitalist order. You don't get revolutions anymore. You get what happened to the Soviet Union. We will implode and everything will get worse. Yeah, right. That's what I think too. But you never explain what you meant by your first comment about the accelerationism. But yeah, I tend to think that too. I think that people who romanticize revolution and stuff like that, or look to a lot of revolutions in history, I think that a lot of them don't consider that things are so different now, that we live in a totally different world. Like, that doesn't mean that we can't learn lessons from history and that some things do never change, right? Like, the human condition, we should learn from history. Some things do never change about the human condition. And history is important to learn. But what I think that some people that obsess about revolution and taking on the oligarchs and all that misunderstand is that we live in a totally different world now. We live in a global society, a global world where everything is digital now and information is totally different. And the capitalist order is global. So it's like, it's not, you don't approach it the same way in 2024 that people would in the, the 20th century. It doesn't mean that people shouldn't fight back. They absolutely should, but it's going to have to look totally different. It's going to have to look totally different than what people think it is when they read, communist and Marxist literature. I think a lot of leftists like read communist and Marxist and anarchist literature, and they think that it's going to look like that. And that's like thinking, and I'm not saying this to be insulting, but I think that that is kind of like the wrong way to look at it, or you're not including our modern context. It's like when people, it would be like a singer or a songwriter thinking that, the way you get involved in the music industry is like you did in the 50s, when the music industry has completely changed because of modern technology. That's what I think of when I think about people talking about like revolution and taking on the capitalist class. They're always like kind of framing it from a way of like Marx and communism, when like those things, like I said, there are universal truths, right? That I'm not disputing, right? I'm not saying like, oh, there aren't universal truths and lessons to be learned from them. No, there absolutely is. But the means and the way that you go about taking on the capitalist ruling class is not going to be the same way that they talked about it in the 1900s or 1800s, because we live in a different world. We need land. Rightists have land, yet their exploitation worldview limits the ability to be sovereign. Yeah. Also, everything starts with education. Oh, by the way, thank you, Project Sun, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Everything starts with education, because the American people are so misinformed that and don't have any idea. Like, I feel like the American people know something is wrong, but they oftentimes don't know what it is. And there's so much propaganda that misdirects them, right? Like, there's so much propaganda that misdirects the American people's ire, where like they know something's wrong, but they can't figure out what it is. That's why education and having your own media apparatus is incredibly important. Excuse me. Education, propaganda is incredibly important. You're not going to get the American people to fight back against the ruling class without educating them first and changing their minds. Everything starts here and here. Okay? Everything starts here and here. You're not going to get any fucking American to join your, intellectual revolution, political revolution, if you don't change hearts and minds first. That is what the right wing understands. The right wing understands that, which is why they invest so much in their media apparatus. And AIPAC understands that, and so does the Israeli regime, which is why they invest so much in Hasbara and propaganda. Thank you for the super sticker, Carmen. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel this. I really feel this. No, I'm not vegan. I absolutely love cheese, like so much. I love cheese, all things cheese and dairy. I really wish that I had the money or the discipline to be a vegan. It's really hard. And it's really expensive. What we need is institutional change around this. Now, I'm not educated enough on this to know whether or not all meat eating is bad. I know factory farming is bad, but that's what we should, I feel like, attack. Instead of, because I feel like Americans a lot, including liberals and people on the left, we again take an individualistic approach instead of targeting the people in charge and the ones mass producing it. Like, instead of going after the corporations that cause climate change, we tell people individually to use plastic straws. Instead of going after big agriculture and the farming industries, the factory farming industries, and the horrific ways that they treat the animals, we go after people individually and tell them just to become vegan when it's incredibly expensive to become vegan. Like, why don't we start by banning factory farming and having people just go to like local farms and making those local farms more accessible? Like, why can't we do that? Because as far as right now goes, I don't have an ideological conviction against eating animals. I just think that, and I'm not saying I can't change. My mind can't be changed on that. I'm just saying as of right now, I don't feel wrong about eating animals like, chicken and cows. What I feel wrong about is the way they're treated. If I knew that when I go to a farmer's market, which I've been before, and I buy meat from there, and I know that that meat was grass fed and that animal was taken care of and respected, then I don't have a problem with it. My problem is knowing that they're just treated in such horrific ways. We don't have a great framework for resistance yet. Exactly. We don't. We don't. And the left really should be the ones leading this, and we're not. We're not. The left is too busy trying to lecture and cancel and argue and be better and morally superior to people, that we don't actually really try to work with each other. There's too many egos. No one wants to work with each other, when it's like all of the left should be working together to create a movement. Every single person on the left should be working together to create a movement. But you have too many people that are so egotistical or ideologically rigid that they don't want to work with other people. Wait, yes, it's the solution. I don't know what you're referring to here. Maybe the political idea is pushed on us so that we don't do the reasonable steps to sovereignty. I'm not a Marxist for that reason. Huh, interesting. Thank you. Hey, Fuwa-chan, when did you come in? Thank you so much for this super chat. That is why the Republicans don't support education. They want an electorate. Exactly. Exactly. That's why they want to abolish the Department of Education. Or get rid of standardized testing. It's insane. They want Americans to be stupid and uninformed. Why? Because why do they really want Americans? Just to have more kids and stuff. The reason why the Republicans want to get rid of the Department of Education is the same reason why they're anti-abortion. It's not actually because they care about small government or because they care about babies. Okay? They don't. They never did. And they don't care about small government. They love big government. They just like when they're in charge of big government. That's why they're creating another department. They say small government, then they create another department of efficiency headed by two people. Make it make sense. And then on top of that, the reason why they want to get rid of the Department of Education is similar to why they want to get rid of abortion. They don't actually care about abortion. They want to get rid of the Department of Education because they want people to be stupid, compliant workers. They want you to be a stupid, compliant worker widget for them and their wealth and exploit your labor. And why they really want to get rid of abortion is because they want more workers. That's why. Because who gets affected by abortion bans? Not rich people, poor people. And they want poor, uneducated people to be forced to have kids so that they can have more labor, cheap labor. Sorry, I know some people might think it's a conspiracy theory, but show me where I'm wrong. Thank you, Patricia, for the super chat. Someone said it's not expensive to be vegan. Okay. Sure, Jan. Like, that's just, like, so not true. Like, if I go and buy, like, vegan stuff from the store, it's so expensive, but it's really cheap for me to buy, like, Rama and, like, Doritos and, you know, chicken nuggets. It's cheaper. Exactly, knowledge is defense. This is the type of revolution that would need to happen in the modern age, right? This is the type of revolution that needs to happen in the modern age. But we're missing two things. You know why it's not happening right now? Because it should be already happening. We're missing two key things. One, education and information. There needs to be a serious media apparatus, that an information sharing apparatus that we build. And we're not. We're not. And by that, I mean, you look at people, like I said, on the left, and all they do is fight with each other. Where's the building? Where's the media? Where's the media apparatus? Like what, like the right has? The right has a machine. Where's that on the left? We don't have that. That's the first thing that we need. That is really important because you need to change hearts and minds and get people on board the same way the right has done. And the second part is, in order to do any of this, community gardens, mutual aid, cooperatives, all of that stuff requires people to work with each other and help each other. Where do you see that? The left claims that we don't want to be individualistic like the right, but we act exactly like them, very individualistic. You see, let's just take media, for example. Someone on the left who's in the media or independent media, they don't want to work with you. They don't want to work with you because for whatever reason, they don't agree with your stance on this, or they don't agree with your stance on that, or they don't think you're leftist enough. They don't think you're communist enough, whatever. So they don't want to work with you. That's individualistic bullshit. And then you have people, whether it's in mutual aid or cooperatives or offers, because mutual aid is also services. It's not just money, it's services. Like, okay, we're going to do mutual aid. You're really good at, I don't know, marketing. You're really good at marketing. So you're going to help your comrade market their, I don't know, blog or a podcast, you know, and they're going to help you with something that they're good at. And it's not a money exchange, it's mutual aid. Where do you see that happening? It's not happening. It's literally not happening. So I get so like the left always being like, we need to have community organizing. We need to have mutual aid. Why is no one doing it then? It's literally not happening. So people need to actually start doing it and lead by example, because that's the thing. The left loves to talk about all the things we should do. Oh, we need to have community organizing. We need to have mutual aid. And then we don't walk the talk. Why should anybody want to join us when we don't walk the talk? We say we want to do all these things, and then we act individualistic and pious. We say we want to do all these things, and then we act individualistic and pious and morally superior and exclusionary. And we tell people that they can't sit with us. And we tell people that they can't be a part of our club because they're not left enough. Why would anybody want to join that? We don't lead by example. Exactly. Divide the states, then conquer by creating fighting. Sorry, the minions argue while the one exactly. Okay, exactly. Thank you for the super chat, Patricia. Thank you so much for the super chat, Henry. Where you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. Mutual aid is also really good for immediate help, right when you need it for a small amount. come in clutch when I was homeless last summer a few times. Absolutely. Absolutely. But what I have noticed about that, Henry, is that that's the only context in which people talk about mutual aid, which I'm not saying it's not important. It is important to help out people when they need it. That type of mutual aid is important, but it's really the only type I see people talk about. I don't see people talking about mutual aid when it comes to things that aren't directly monetary. Like, you know what we should have? Like, what we should have? Like, okay. You know how, you know what helps community building? And you guys are probably going to think this is stupid, but I don't think it is. I think it's very actually good, actually. Clubhouses. Remember clubhouses? Clubhouses are good for community building. And you know who's really, really good at this? Alcoholics. Alcoholics are very good at community building and clubhouses, okay? And this is what ends up happening, okay? And I've learned this a lot because I've been sober for 10 years. The people in recovery rooms who are alcoholics are such a great example of what community and community building actually looks like, because they will create clubhouses where you can go anytime to go hang out and go to a meeting and find support and get, emotional support. They do mutual aid all the time. They take people out to eat when people are hungry and they don't have a lot of money when they're first getting sober. They will take people to fellowship where we all go out to eat, and the people who have the least money can eat with us. And we have, there are clubhouses that are open, from really, really early to really, really late in New York City, sometimes 24 hours, in order to help people who are struggling when they're struggling in their addiction. People would bring me coffee and food to the meetings, and like, that's how you do it. You need some of us need to learn how to community organize and community build from recovery rooms. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. When I was first sober, I was starving and homeless. Okay? And you know who helped me? Other sober people. They took me out to eat. They bought me food when I didn't have it. They let me sleep on their couch when I didn't have any place to stay. And I would go to those clubhouses all the time and sit there for hours and hours just so that I wouldn't drink. People would call me, even though people don't like being on the phone. People would call me to make sure that I was okay. They would tell me to check in with them. We would go to the clubhouses and just sit and hang out. That's how you community organize and build. And recovery rooms are very good at it. I think that the left needs to have a clubhouse. Hey, old bony bird. How's it going? We do community outreach and we realize what a concept of being a part of a community is, because we realize what it means not to be a part of the community. Exactly. Exactly. The left needs to stop being so exclusionary, is like, for real, for real. The People's Clubhouse. Exactly. That's what we need. And how do you do that? You do that with people organizing and volunteering and doing mutual aid. Like, somebody has access to, I don't know, a space that we can go to that they let us use. I mean, that's what they do in recovery rooms. People have access to the space, and a lot of times it's churches, but even if it's not churches, some of them are just clubhouses that people just do community at and have mutual aid for. I'm not saying the right isn't exclusionary. They definitely are, but so is the left, and we're the ones who are saying we're not. Similar. Quaker meetings are similar to clubhouses. There are plenty of non-theists. Wait, non-theist Quakers too. American Friends of Service Committee is badass. Yeah, exactly. If you've been keeping up with the outreach to the hurricane victims, that's damn near 100% mutual. Yes. And a lot of that is because the government has basically said, bye. Like, they don't care. Like, the people who got absolutely decimated in that hurricane in the South, in North Carolina and all that, decimated. And the government's like, later. No, the government's like that meme. We see you, we hear you. And the person's like, help me. And they just like high five them. Yeah, I agree with that. Making a 501c3 is not community building. I'm not saying I'm totally opposed to a 501c3, but that's kind of not the point. Community building is just like, the reason why I brought up recovery rooms is because it's very decentralized. There is no head of a recovery room. Like, it's so decentralized. It's all volunteer. When you start doing 501c3s and things like that, it starts becoming more about money and people in hierarchical power, and it can be a very it can become problematic. There are a lot of people who own rooms. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying when I'm saying talking about mutual aid. There are a lot of people that have space in every state, that have a room, that have a garage, that own something, and their mutual aid could be allowing people to use the space. Because in order to build community, you have to like hang out with people and get to know them, so that you start to care about what they care about. It needs to be more about being with people and not talking at people, which I feel like is another thing that leftists do a lot. Rather than trying to understand and be with people and build community, they talk at people. And you don't really get to know people and build these coalitions if you just show up at a volunteer thing every once in a while, volunteer and leave. That's why I think places like a Clubhouse could be really cool, because like if you're just going to volunteer somewhere, you go and you volunteer and then you leave. Who are you getting to know? You know? Who are you getting to know? How are you getting to know these people? You're still apart from them, right? Like if you're just going and volunteering somewhere, which I'm not saying is bad, it's great, but you're kind of being apart from someone. You go and you volunteer and then you leave and go back to your life. When you have a place like a Clubhouse or like a place that you meet with people, you are with them. You are spending time with them. You are becoming friends with them. You are learning about them. You're caring about them and what they care about, rather than just showing up to volunteer and then going back to your life. Does that make sense? Thank you. I know, I love them too. Yeah, and we shouldn't have to. Again, the way people will just like not agree with someone and then be like, I don't want to ever talk to you again, or I don't want to work with you, is such an American thing that the left claims that we don't want to be. Like, it's so American to be so individualistic and then cut someone off immediately the second that they don't agree with something that you said or believe. I mean, I've had it happen to me many times. Knowledge and defense. You're an anarchist. Oh, you were asking somebody else. I thought you were asking me. I was like, no, I'm not an error. I am making moves. Bye. See you later, Blakey. God bless. Thank you, Johan. I hate when people use the same line, the same like they think burn line, and it's always like the same. Yes, in the homeless community, there is an overwhelming of ponderance of people affected by substance. Yes. 100%. Alan Smith, that's not the problem. Oh, my dog just made the cutest noise. I love when my dog goes, meh. It's like the cutest thing. I don't understand why everybody was talking about that fight yesterday. Like, I don't understand. People seem to really care about it, and I really don't understand why. Like, what's happening? I did see, since we were talking about mutual aid and stuff, somebody, okay, Angie, she's on TikTok and she is very good at like organization and like social media stuff. She did a video talking about a spreadsheet that was made that I'm going to look into of how people on the left can use their skills in media to start building our own apparatus. Yeah. I think that I'm gonna look into that more. I haven't read the spreadsheet yet, but I think it looks really interesting. She made this like spreadsheet, or I don't think she made it, or maybe she made part of it and other people added, but it basically is like a spreadsheet that was created for like mutual aid for people to utilize their skills regarding all things like media. Because the left, what I am convinced of, what I am sure of, is that the left needs to build our own media apparatus to compete with the right because they're winning. I actually made a video saying this over a year ago on my TikTok, but I couldn't find it. I wanted to like clip my own video to be like, look, I told you guys the right is so good at building media apparatus and we're not. And I said this a year ago, but I couldn't find it because TikTok doesn't really have a good search and like an ability to search your own old videos. And because I have so many videos on TikTok, I was like, I couldn't find, I'm like, I'm not doing this all day. I'm not going through every single one of my videos trying to find this. Did you guys hear that the Grayzone got demonetized from YouTube, which is like so embarrassing? They're literally a news channel. They're literally a news channel. Like it's such a joke. Hmm. No, that's not true, Levi. Yes, a single rich, they do have the advantage of the fact that they have so much money and they did buy it. But I'm not just talking about Twitter and Fox. I'm talking about all of their independent media. They've got long arms all out in the podcast space, in the social media space, in the YouTube space, and they all work together. That is the other crucial thing. They all work with each other. They all lift each other up. They don't go after each other constantly like people on the left do. Like, top I saw this recently. I wish I could find it. I don't know where it is. I saw it recently. All right, I don't know where it is. Maybe one of you guys can find it for me. That the top 5 podcasts on Spotify, either Spotify or Apple, are right-wing podcasts. Like top 5. It was like Candace Owens' podcast, Ben Shapiro, I think was in the top 5. Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson. Like, I can't remember who all of them were, but it literally was all right-wing shows. Working on alternative social media. Would you support us? Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, guys, I'm not denying that the right wing has more money. Like, but that doesn't mean that but you know what else they also have? It's not just money that they have. They have cohesion. Cohesion. They have cohesion. Of course, the right wing has more money. But first of all, that doesn't mean that everyone on the left is broke. I know that it's a lot harder on the left because the left actually criticizes capitalism. So that's like a huge, thing that's in their favor. That's not in ours. But not everybody on the left is broke. And I know that we have that disadvantage, but we also have the disadvantage of not being cohesive. The right wing actually, like I said, has a huge ecosystem and they all support each other. And it's connected to the politicians as well. All the podcasts and all the shows all support each other. They all go on each other's shows. They all lift each other up. And the politicians all go on their shows and fuck with them. That does not exist on the left. All the left does is fight, trash each other, tear each other down, tell each other that they're problematic. Your show's problematic. You're problematic. You've got problematic views. And then none of the politicians on the so-called left ever go on any independent shows or left shows. Like, think about even the so-called left politicians like AOC, who when she was first getting her start would go on independent media and go on like the Young Turks because they helped her a lot. And then after she got elected, she never talks to independent media. She won't talk to any independent media outlets. She won't go on their shows. She only goes on MSNBC and will talk to the New York Times. Wow, thank you so much for the generous $20, Henry. I really appreciate that. I have a recommendation for a wiener dog toy. You need to get it here. Here's some money to help. It's something I got for my cat, Broccoli. That's a funny name. As Frost upgraded interactive cat toy. Wait. Hold on. I'm going to look it up right now. Asfrost. What? What is this? And why does it have so many parts to it? It's a wheel? But it looks like it has like a ton of parts. It's funny whenever I watch something on Rumble, I have to sit through ads of fake gold coin. True. True. Okay, I don't know what you're referring to here, Theater, but this is true though. The left needs to start investing in the long game, okay? That's what the right wing does and has done for a very long time. You think any of this happened overnight for them? No, no. How do I super chat? Thank you for asking, Venom. I'm pretty sure that if you're on YouTube, there is like a little button at the bottom of the screen if you're on live with like a little heart and dollar sign, and it says like gift or send super chat. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Trump is an oligarch, obviously. But that's how, again, that's where the right has been so effective, is misdirecting so many people into believing that Trump is some populist, which Lamau. All right. Okay, so wait, but why would this cat toy, why would my dachshund like it? You know what's weird is that I've had dachshunds my whole life, and they usually love squeak toys, right? But my dogs now, they don't like squeak toys, which is kind of sad because I loved, watching my other dogs with squeak toys. Oh, thank you, YB. That's really nice of you to say. You make me feel better about this world. That's really nice. Thank you. Tell them that to my haters. My friend in Bay Ridge said he saw you in John Paul Jones Park. Wait, is John Paul Jones Park in Bay Ridge? If John Paul Jones Park is in Bay Ridge, then he didn't see me, because I don't go to Bay Ridge. You know why? Because it's insanely far from me. Like if I take the train to try to go to Bay Ridge, it's like an hour away on the train. Although I would like to go to Bay Ridge because there is a large Palestinian population in Bay Ridge, and there's like a lot of Palestinian restaurants. So I actually would like to go. There's also a lot of Russians in Bay Ridge. The right bought Joe Rogan by paying to have Jordan Peterson on constantly. Yeah, see how they all work together though? They all work together. Jordan Peterson, came and started working with the Daily Wire, and Candace Owens was brought on to the Daily Wire. Like they all work together. Damn, he must have been drunk then. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm actually pretty far from Bay Ridge. I'm not even close to it. Like it would be quicker for me to get to like uptown Manhattan than it would for me to get to go to Bay Ridge. Although if he has a car, he can come pick me up and we can go there and go to some Palestinian restaurants. Why do you think so many older people support? Because propaganda. That's it. It's the only reason. It's because of propaganda. It's because of propaganda and what they've been told for years and years and years, and they just do because it's what they've been told by everyone for years. Because all of our media is in lockstep when it comes to the Israeli regime. The only way that you're going to see criticism of it is in alternative media. Our mainstream media, whether it's liberal or conservative, they're all on the same side. So it's all many people ever heard. Look for the money symbol in the chat area. Oh, you were talking about how to send a super chat. Yeah. My dog is so cute. PBS was the first source that I learned objectively about Palestine. Exactly. Like, the only reason why I used to be pro-Israeli regime is because of propaganda. It was because the only thing I knew about it was what I had heard from Zionists and what I had heard from politicians and mainstream media and quote unquote alternative media before people started criticizing it that I knew. All I would hear were positive things. Everybody was on the same side. Well, yeah, when it comes to doing media and stuff together, that's why people have to work together. Because obviously we're having to fight against also the money that they have. That's where it's important to do mutual aid, and it's important to work together and work with other people because they do have all the money. My dogs are really lazy, Henry. Like, they're really lazy. They don't do anything. This is all my dog does. Watch. It's all either of them do. Yeah, I kind of feel this, Alan. That's my dog. I know, isn't he? I have 2 of them. They're very cute. My dogs are everything. No, he's not sad. He's sleeping. Who is this troll and what are they even talking about? Like, what knowledge and defense? You look like you went quiet, so I roasted you. Take that you've got nothing to say against Trump. Stay liberal. LOL. This guy said Trump is king of America. Imagine wanting a king. Imagine calling yourself a free country and then like thinking that him being a king is good. What breed is your dog? Dachshund. They're dachshunds. It's my favorite dog, in case anyone was wondering. My favorite dog breed. Yeah, this is 100% true. 100% true. Yeah, they'll literally be attacked. But then they're like, but as you said, most Christians globally don't know that. Don't know that. I used to not know that. I only found that out recently, like in the last few months. Mm. I don't know, knowledge and defense. Some people are really stupid. You know, sometimes people surprise me. Stupid people can have big hearts. I mean, that's true. That's true. Do not alienate yourself from someone that you might be able to reach. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. And the ACA and Obamacare is sad people voting against their self-interest. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So that toy uses strings and pulls, and it's a chase toy. Flying across the room and they catch it. Broccoli now only wants attention. The thing is off. That's funny. Trump is the greatest avatar of America in an unflattering way. Oops, yeah. 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 He's literally who we are. That's why I love when people be like, Trump's not who we are. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's exactly who we are. There's no way for truth tellers to avoid alienation. That's for sure. When you tell the truth, you get attacked, especially by powerful people and institutions. Someone said Trump cares about America. Okay. Trump needs people in his ear who make him understand the grand majority of Americans do not stand with tyranny. Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's why he's appointing a bunch of Zionists who stand with the tyrannical Israeli regime. Some people are claiming that he stole it at the election and want to recount. Yeah, I saw that, and honestly, I haven't seen any evidence of it. To me, it's a little bit of cope and blue and on. Like, it's a little bit of blue and on from liberals. Like, if there's evidence, okay, show me the evidence. But right now, all I've seen is it's just copium. Like, liberals mad that they lost, and so they're saying that the election was stolen, which is embarrassing because that's what Trump and the Republicans did. So why are you acting like them? Like, it's embarrassing. Libs January 6th. Can you imagine? It would just be a bunch of pride flags and dildos. Yeah, he already picked a bunch of Zionists, and it shows you that so many people on the right are full of it because they haven't said anything. Like, they're not speaking out against it. Like, where's Candace Owens? I thought Candace Owens was going to hold people accountable about that kind of stuff, but nah, she hasn't said anything. Yeah, they're full of it. Yeah, the only thing is that because the right wing and MAGA and stuff, they don't care about, like, they're not anti-celebrity. They just wanted their own celebrity. They'll be like, oh, the left like always has celebrities. It's like, you guys just wanted to have your own. That's why you elected a celebrity. They haven't been confirmed yet. Yeah, but they will be. They will be, Joey, because all of them are Zionists. They're all owned by AIPAC. The only reason why Trump appointed them was because he's also owned by AIPAC. Joey, I need you to wake up and realize that all of our government makes decisions on behalf of the Israeli regime. They're all bought and paid for. What people need to understand is that they're all owned and working against you. Like, Democrats think that, like, we just need to have a good manager and a better liberal president, and Republicans think that Trump is the answer. It's like, you guys need to wake up and realize that they are all against you. This is theater. It's all theater. It's theater to make you feel like you have a choice. Well, Joey, if you know this, then you shouldn't be so excited about Trump, because you should understand that he is a bought and paid for shill just like the rest of them, just to make us think that we've got some choices when we don't. Well, Joey, if people on the right were really trying to warn against like AIPAC and Zionism, then how come none of them are speaking out about his picks? You understand the name now. That's funny, theater. Okay, I would like for you to answer the question, Joey. You don't need to keep putting everything in all caps. It's okay. Yes, Joey. I'm not seeing people speak out on the right against his picks. Also, this question is for Joey specifically. Why aren't anyone on the right speaking out against the fact that the Senate is about to pass the so-called Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which is nothing more than AIPAC's attack on Americans' First Amendment rights? I'm talking about everyone on the right. Where's Candace Owens? Huh? Where? Where's that one libertarian? What is his name? I'm forgetting his name. He's like a libertarian podcaster who's pretty popular. Dave Smith, thank you. Where's Dave Smith? Where's Andrew Tate? Okay. Where are they? Where are all these like right-wing influencers? So why aren't any of them speaking out against the attacks on our First Amendment? Where's Charlie Kirk? Where's what's his bucket? Matt I forget his name. Where are they? Where's Alex Jones? Alex Jones, who pretends to be like this dissident, who pretends to take on the globalists, who pretends to take on all the powers that be. Alex Jones hasn't said anything about it. Where he at? Yeah, where's Matt Taibbi on the case? Okay. Matt Walsh, thank you. Where is he? Where is he? Where is Matt Taibbi and all the so-called intellectual dark web people who built their platforms and made millions of dollars on their free speech shtick, and none of them have spoken out against this attack on our First Amendment? Where are they, Joey? Where are they? Joey, where are they? True, Brendan. IDW was always AIPAC Zionist. Check out Rave Dubin. Exactly. 100%. It was always an AIPAC plot. There's no such thing as being a real patriot if you're not speaking out against an attack on our actual First Amendment. Literally. Oh, maybe I'll watch a little bit of Bad Empanada's live stream then, because he's like somebody I only recently found out about. And from what I've seen, I like him. So maybe I'll do that because I gotta go anyway. We've been on here for 2 hours and I gotta go to Trader Joe's. Oh, I know. Jared Moskowitz is such a piece of shit. He's such a piece of shit. I can't with Jared Moskowitz. He was cheering this so-called stop anti-Semitism bill. Cheering it. He's disgusting. All right, you guys, I gotta go soon, but if you're not already following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. If you're not already following me on TikTok and Instagram, follow me there too. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel. Let me know I'm the real patriot. I'm the real patriot. Okay? No one is going to out-patriot me, folks. No one. You guys have you guys ever seen my amazing base patriot photos? Okay? You guys, I'm not going to go out of my way to find it if you don't care, but if just let me know in chat. Does anyone want to see my patriot photos? My American flag photos? Because I am the patriot. I'm the Queen Patriot. Will the real patriots please stand up? Okay, let me show you. Let me show you guys. I'll try to find it really quick because I don't want to bore you. I wish you could scroll Instagram faster. You know what I mean? Like if you want to see older photos from like a year ago or whatever, like how come you can't scroll Instagram faster? Or like search by date, you know? Like you should be able to search by date. Is there a way? Does anybody know if there's a way to search by date? Yeah. No, like you can't search old like photos by date on Instagram. You have to like actually scroll through your whole timeline, which is very annoying. What's that thing behind you? Oh, it's an air conditioner. Hey, Crimson, how you doing? Yeah, you can't be a patriot and an Israeli regime bootlicker at the same time. That's not a thing. See, there's a difference that I have with people on the left, and some people on the left don't like me for that. Because a lot of people on the left, you know, not all, but a lot of people on the left are like, you know, America bad, always and everything, and fuck America. But that ain't me. That ain't me. I'm actually the queen and the king patriot, actually. This is so annoying. All I want to do is show you guys this picture, and it's making me scroll so far back. Like, I like how on like Google Photos you can search by date, you know? I wonder if I can go to Google Photos and just search like American flag. That might be an easier way to find it. Let me try that. How come Google doesn't have or Instagram doesn't have a search function? American flag. Neither does TikTok. And by that, when I say search function, I mean of your own thing. All right, are you guys ready? You ready for the big reveal? Are you guys ready for the big reveal? Okay. No one is competing with this. I am the winner. I am the winner. No one is competing with this, okay? Where is it? No. Oh, I know what I'll do. July 4th. That's how I'll find it. Okay. Hold. Now I'm going to share again. No one's competing with this. I am the Patriot winner. July 4th. Every 4th of July, I always dress up. Okay, and check out how base my makeup is here, okay? Check out how base my makeup is here. No, sorry, Joey. I was already left. Already left. Look at how amazing my makeup is here. Actually, you can't see my makeup as well there. I wanted you guys to see like how great, how awesome my makeup was. Hold on. Why? Why? All right, I'm trying to zoom in here. Present. Wait a minute. Bro. Why does it have to be so hard? All I wanted to do was show you guys how cool my makeup was, and it's like not fucking. Bro. This is so dumb. Why does everything have to be so complicated? Why does everything have to be so complicated? Lives like this, you. Wait, where'd it go? It's honestly really hard to like do any of this too, because I do everything on one screen, you know? Like I'm doing everything on one screen. Like a lot of people who stream have like separate monitors. Okay, I see. All right, last one I'll show you. Sorry guys, I know this like went on longer than it needed to. This is what I mean. How awesome is my makeup? You think you're going to compete with this? No, you will not compete with this patriotic queenery, kingery. You're just not going to. Top that. Anyway, yeah, sure. I'll show you my dogs again before we log off. Yeah, if you guys go back far enough on my Instagram, you can find all of these photos. There's a lot of photos on my Instagram if you go back far enough. But let me show you my dogs again before I log off. Don't forget, you guys, that we have a Discord. So don't forget that we have a Discord, and the Discord is in my is in the community tab of YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already subscribed. And thank you to everybody that gave me super chats. I really appreciate you guys. Invite invalid. I'm going to lose my mind. It's done that so many times. It's really pissing me off. I'm going to have to look into that again. This is really annoying. Also, this is really annoying. Yeah, so join the Discord. I'll look into that and see what's going on with the link. I've tried to make the link not expire multiple times and it's still doing it. It is very annoying. Okay? It's really pissing me off. And so join if you want to. And OMG, transvestigating the Statue of Liberty. Wow. Okay. I mean, you can continue that argument if you want in Discord. But yeah, so subscribe, and if you go to my link tree, you can find all my other socials. And if you can't become a member on YouTube, become a member at either my Ko-Fi or my Patreon. All right, team. I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for having coffee with me. Bye, everyone. Free Palestine. Always. Oh, we'll say goodbye to my dogs. Wait, hold on. Goodbye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye, Schwiggin. Why agree? Why agree? Wiggy. 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 All right. Bye, everyone. Bro, I thought I ended it, lol.